I am planning a voyage.
Did we figure out where we're going yet?
Well, you know, contingency plan. Anyway, this plan I'm making here is for Sitka, Alaska, from Hawaii to Sitka, Alaska.
Well, we were pretty sure we were heading there anyway. And I think we've pretty much determined that that's going to be our destination.
That's right.
We've talked about the South Pacific, but doesn't look
And
like it.
you know, who knows? We never really know until
we cast
off the stern lines and get going. So we never really know. But the title of this video is The Navigator. But please do not think that this is an instructional video on how to navigate. It's not. We're going to discuss the navigator's role in voyage planning. I will tell you the tools that I use for navigation, but we'll have to save how to actually do it for another time.
For the professionals. For
the professionals, yeah. Better to let the professionals handle that, you know, like Captain John over at Sea Sensical. Yeah. So anyway, where was I? In voyage planning, the navigator has the fun part of the whole planning process. It's the most fun part is the navigator's job.
Wait a second, I thought the provisioning was the fun part.
No, navigating is the fun part.
So
you can have fun provisioning, I'll have fun navigating. How's that grab you?
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. But first thing we're going to do as a navigator is gather up all the tools that we need. We've been informed by the captain or whatever powers that be that we're going to Sitka, Alaska from Hawaii. So the first thing that the navigator is going to do, at least this navigator, is reach for my copy of Jimmy Cornell's World Cruising Routes. And World Cruising Routes is just what it says. It has routes between cruising destinations, sailing routes between cruising destinations all around the world. So we want to go from Hawaii to Alaska, specifically Sitka, Alaska. So we just open the book, we look it up, we find route PN 31, Hawaii to Alaska, and in the table here it tells us the best time mid-June to August. We'll inform the captain immediately. Mid-June to August is our best time to go. Tropical storms can be encountered June to October. It also goes on to tell you the British Admiralty and US NOAA chart numbers that you need. It recommends a cruising guide, Charlie's Charts to North Alaska. Gives you waypoints to use, and then the text gives you a whole lot of information about different ports and destinations and details about that area. So now we've got the route with the waypoints already given to us. We can close that and go to our pilot chart. Now, a pilot chart is a graphical representation of historical weather data, currents, and Great Circle routes. Pilot charts come in 5 volumes. They're books, actually, large chart books. There's one for the North Pacific, one for the South Pacific, North and South Atlantic, and Indian Ocean. And each one is 12 pages, one for each month of the year. So Cornell has told us that we need to make this trip between June and October. Or June and August, did I say? June and August. Anyway, we need to make the trip in June. We want to make the trip in June. So we're going to get the North Pacific pilot chart, flip to the month of June, and then draw out just a sketch. No, don't have to be, not going to put any detailed waypoints, but just a sketch, a pencil line from one point to the other point. And take note of the ocean currents that we're going to cross and the wind patterns that we can expect during the month of June based on past weather data. So we're going to look at that, then we're going to go to the captain, we're going to say, Cap, I think it's going to take us 36 days, give or take. Captain tells the mate says, mate, go buy groceries for 36 days. Mate says, oh yeah, I know you.
36 days.
36 days, my patootie.
More like 50.
So the mate goes out and buys groceries for 60 days.
Yeah, we'll be provisioning for 60 days on this trip, just to be safe.
And that's pretty much the role of the navigator in voyage planning. But, you know, the navigator has more work to do on this before you leave. You have to get much more specific than how long it's going to take you in drawing a pencil line on the pilot chart. The next thing that we're going to turn to is the internet. I'm going to look up certain things that I want to know about the port of destination. Might use Google Earth to take a look, a photographic look at the harbor where we're going to go to. But more importantly, the first thing that I want to look at, and I've already done this, and I'm using Charlie's charts, north to Alaska. Charlie's charts, north to Alaska. And in Charlie's charts, I'm looking up Sitka Harbour. You can see Sitka Harbour here, very nice diagram. A little bit dated, however. And not to be used for navigation. It's a disclaimer right on here. These are sketches. But after researching on the internet, I've identified 3 likely looking pubs within 1 nautical mile of the transient moorage in Sitka, Alaska. So the way I like to do trip planning as a navigator is I like to visualize myself at the end of the voyage, at the very end of the voyage, sitting at, let's say, Ernie's Saloon or the Pioneer Bar in Sitka, sipping a cold local brew and reflecting on the journey so far, how I got there. I'll think about my 3/4 of a mile walk from the transient moorage. I'll think about the approach, calling the harbor master to arrange moorage. I'll think about the range bearing, the angle of approach to the range, the obstacles in Sitka Sound or the approaching area that I may have to avoid. There's some clumps of rocks, islands, things like that you have to get around. And basically I will visualize each segment of the voyage all the way back to Alawai Boat Harbor and that last beer that I drink before getting on the boat. Basically from one beer to the next, because there are no beers in between departure from the Poor Boys Yacht Club and arrival at Ernie's Saloon. So there won't be any beers in between. So
They better have some good coffee there,
that's the way I plan it. Well, I can't remember which one of these. One of these did say that they serve, some kind of good coffee. We'll find out when we get there. I'm sure there's a Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've really changed. You used to love Starbucks.
I used to love Starbucks.
Remember when the first
Not
Starbucks
anymore.
opened in Honolulu? You just went nuts.
I know. Well, Starbucks was different back then.
I guess so.
Oh well.
All right. So anyway, we've covered world cruising routes and Charlie's charts. But for real hardcore detailed information on coastal facilities, aids to navigation, and harbor facilities, you're going to need a Coast Pilot. Now, Coast Pilots, again, is another high volume book, heavy. There are 9 different ones for different regions of the United States published by NOAA, and these are a supplement to nautical charts. They're photographs of the harbor entrances and approach range that are very, very helpful. All the information, phone numbers, radio frequencies, traffic separation schemes and management agencies and what have you, all in here. So have one of these on the boat. So you see we're getting a pretty good stack of books here. Anyway, and the last one I wanted to mention for voyage planning, although we're not using it this time because we're not leaving the United States, again by Jimmy Cornell, the World Cruising Handbook. World Cruising Handbook has all the information you need about foreign ports and going to foreign countries, clearances required, how to deal with pets, and what have you. And there you are. Those are all the tools we use for voyage planning. You notice one thing I didn't mention is actual nautical charts. I download a complete set of NOAA nautical charts for Southeast Alaska onto my computer and also onto our other computer. Use those mainly for planning. Enter in the waypoints during this period here while we're doing the voyage planning. Enter in the waypoints, upload that to my GPS, both of them, so that I have my waypoints in my GPS. We've ordered the charts that we need for Southeast Alaska.
That should be here anytime.
They should be here anytime, and when they get here, I will plot all the waypoints on the paper charts so that when I roll out the paper charts, all I have to do is plot our position on them and I can find and the waypoints are already there. So, that's the way we're rolling now. It's coming down to the wire. Our voyage plan is pretty much complete.
Last thing is provisioning, and then we're pretty much ready to rock.
Last thing is going to be provisioning, and we have a little bit of work to do on the boat, but that's progressing along nicely, and That's about it, isn't it?
It is.